So I am here with the judges from the cosplay competition that has just happened now. I think they just recently finished with the last person, which is quite cool. We're going to be obviously doing the whole results and who wins and all of that. We will then also interview the winners, so that's going to be quite cool too. But we're going to ask the judges a few questions, not about the cosplay. You guys are just going to have to wait for the results. I'm sorry, that's not going to happen, whether you like it or not. Okay, so anyway. I'm going to start from left to right, my left to right. So it's going to be from your right. Okay, so we're going to start by interviewing Yama, and then we're going to move on to, I'm sorry, I forget your name. Jess, and then we're going to move on to, I'm sorry, I forget your name. I'm kidding, obviously. Anyway, so Yama, judging cosplay, what is it like to? I mean, I'm not going to ask you about what it's like today, but what is it like to judge cosplay? I mean, is it a hard process? Is it an easy process?
Do I hold it?
No,
Okay,
I'll
okay.
hold it in front of you.
It's quite a difficult process to do
Okay.
because there's a lot of like criteria you have to take into consideration. So as simple from have they done their hair to what materials did they what was their material choice to how what material choice did they then use for their armor or
Okay.
how well are they representing the character. So there's a lot of different factors. So it can be quite tricky trying to get that all done at once because you
Yeah.
are sometimes really overwhelmed by the it's like you just get blown away by the quality of cosplay that you're presented with.
Yeah.
So yeah, it can be quite a challenge. It can, but it's really enjoyable.
Is
So
it? Okay,
yeah.
awesome, awesome. Same question. I'm not going to ask it again, so you've heard it. So, same question.
Oh, so what is it like to judge
Yeah,
cosplay as a whole?
how difficult is it to actually judge,
Um,
and what do you feel about it?
I would say, I mean, because coming from my background, I'm sort of strictly in fashion design and graphic design and that kind of thing. So even though I'm kind of involved in a variety of skills, this is on a completely different level. There are so many different aspects. It's not just makeup, it's not just hair, it's not just styling the wigs, construction. You have to be really, really good at a variety of different things. And the passion that goes into it is just, it just blows my mind. I can't get over how many different things come into play, and we have to judge all of this as a whole. But we
Yeah.
have to then again also break everything down. So it's looking at the construction, looking at every like fine little detail, looking at their attention to detail, on top of the overall picture. The impressions are just so it's very very difficult to do everything as a whole.
Yeah.
So I'd say it can be quite a strenuous job, but it's also very very fun.
Okay, I'm just going to whip this off quickly because it's getting kind of uncomfortable. All right, Piers, same question.
Well, for me, it's a whole new ballpark. This is the first time I've ever done it. I've always just looked at cosplay and gone, "Ooh, look, pretty." But you can't actually do that now with the judges. You can't go, "Oh, look, pretty." You can, but there's so, as they said, there's so much more that you need to take into consideration, and especially because there's so many this year, it's actually quite challenging. But we press for time, so you've got to look at all the details as well within the time frame that you get with those specific people. It's very interesting. It's yeah, for me it's a whole new thing. Actually looking at cosplay very differently through fresh eyes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But okay, I'm going to have to put this in here. As a video game reviewer, as someone who actually reviews video games, it puts a different perspective into reviewing people. I suppose there's a similarity, but say in the same aspect, there's a difference in a way. How would you actually describe it?
Exactly like you just described
Okay,
it
so I
now.
just described it the way you and I do the same thing.
Yes.
Okay, so same thing from your side. As a fashion designer, I mean, you obviously judge people on the design of their clothing alone. So when it comes to the cosplay, are you looking at the design of the clothing, or are you doing basically an overall look at mistakes that actually have happened as well, and can you find the mistakes that other people have found? That are you able to focus on those same mistakes?
Well, I tend to sort of focus just mostly on those things. I will look at the overall picture as opposed to everything else. But because I construct things myself, I'll often look at something and go, okay, well, the flare isn't quite right here, or you could have used this interfacing or fusing to get a better stand or structure or whatever. So those are things that I'll definitely notice because I do tend to focus a lot on the attention to detail when it comes to the actual construction of everything, the finishing off, the hemming, everything, even buttons, all the little little bits and pieces.
It
Yeah.
makes sense. It makes sense. Okay, so Yama, as a cosplayer and as someone who's been doing it for so long, the biggest question from my side is what is the advice? I'm not going to ask you the same question from them because you are a cosplayer, so you know what to look for. So, and I'm sure a lot of the cosplayers know what to look for too. But from your side, what advice would you give to new cosplayers, people who are starting up in the industry?
Um, The advice I'd give to someone who's doing a competition for the first time would be, it sounds weird that don't go out of your ballpark, so try something a little bit more simple. Don't go for these flashy armors, flashy weapons. I mean, if you can, great, but rather try something in your comfort zone, your level of skill, because if you do whatever it is, simple, I don't know, let's think of something, bleach, that's relatively simple. But if you can do it and you do it to a level that you're really satisfied with, you will feel so much more confident as a cosplayer in future years because you have done such a good job on the cosplay, and then you can start leveling it up. But if you do something like really elaborate that you have no idea what you're doing, it can actually diminish your confidence quite a
Okay,
bit.
okay.
So yeah, I'm not saying don't try something big. I mean, go for it.
Yeah.
But also, but if you're going to do a competition and you're nervous about not knowing where you stand, it's often advised start on something just a little bit more simple and build your way up, because that way you not only the judges are impressed, but you build your self-confidence up in cosplay.
So
But
the idea
mainly,
is
yeah,
keep it simple, stupid.
yeah, keep it simple, but mainly love what you do. So if
Yes,
you're
of
not
course.
enjoying it, just take a step back,
Yeah.
take a breath, go back into it. But really, it's a hobby. Do it for fun. Don't stress yourself out.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. Advice from your side, Jess? Anything that you'd say that needs to be done?
One of the things that and this is something that I think only comes sort of at more of an expert kind of level, because what I'll notice is people will focus so much on tiny little things. So, I mean, attention to detail is very important, but they tend to focus on like every little, small little thing far too close up, as opposed to looking at the whole outfit when it's completely done. They don't seem to. I see that newer cosplayers or whatever will try and focus really hard on that, but it's important. It's very important to get your proportions and everything right, to make sure
Yeah.
that you focus on everything as a whole picture, because the second you walk into the booth, that's what we see instantly, and it makes such a difference to our judging, as opposed to like maybe focusing on a prop or whatever way too much, focusing on way too much detail, and then ignoring certain other things that may not come across.
Okay, okay, awesome. And same thing for you, Kez?
Um, well, from my side, I can just say that firstly, do not be scared or nervous when you go in. Um, it's a given that you are going to be nervous when you get judged, but the judges are generally friendly, they don't bite. Um, most of them, so for example, Yama, I'm sure, has done the competitions as well. So it is quite a nerve-wracking thing. Even for me, sitting on the other side, I can imagine that they're quite nervous. But just try and have fun and do it. You worked so hard on it. Just go in and do the best that you can. And yeah, that's pretty
Okay,
much it.
now you know exactly what's going to happen now. We're going to ask the questions, and Kez is going to actually be part of this one, which is really awesome because she's part of the team. So you're going to find out a little bit more about Kez. So anyway, no, it's not going to be scary questions, I promise. It's going to be geeky questions, basically. And we're going to do this quickly, all right? So it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 after each question, all right? Favorite superhero?
Iron Man.
Um, oh God.
On the spot.
On the spot. Deadpool?
Deadpool, perfect.
The Flash.
The Flash. All right, favorite supervillain?
I don't really have one.
Okay, that's perfectly fine, yes.
A coup from Samurai Jack.
Okay.
Really?
Answer. It's for the fans.
Harley and Joker.
Awesome. Okay. And next question, favorite movie in the last 2 years?
I don't know if it was last 2 years, but Jurassic World.
Perfect.
Yeah.
The Devil's Carnival.
I don't know.
I knew I'd throw one at you.
Um,
I knew I'd get you with one.
I don't know.
My angel. Okay, favorite TV series in the last 2 years?
Okay, well, it's a Japanese animated one, Free Iwatobi Swim Club.
Okay.
TV series. Oh my word. I don't even really watch TV. I'm going to say Clone High.
Perfect.
The Expanse.
I knew it. I knew it. You see, I know my wife very well. Anyway, that's it. That's all the questions we got for you guys. Thank you so much for asking us or answering all the questions that we have for you. And that's it from us, the SA Geeks. Thank you very much. Guys, watch. We're going to put all the links down below. You're going to see everything out. Anyway, enjoy. Next review.